Hello and welcome back. For this card, I am going to be using the Tweet Friends stamp set from My Favorite Things for the current My Favorite Things color challenge. I will be heat embossing two of the birds on Bristol Smooth cardstock using VersaFine ink and clear embossing powder. The colors for this challenge are aqua, teal, cream, and coral. The reason I am heat embossing my images on Bristol Smooth cardstock is because I am going to use, not Copics today, but Arteza Real Brush pens. I find that these blend better on a Bristol Smooth cardstock, and I prefer to use heat embossing to keep my colors mostly in the lines. Especially with the Arteza Real Brush pens, some of the bristles are a little bit splayed out sometimes. Alright, for my colors, I am using teal and ice blue, as well as electric blue and spearmint blue. Now, I'm showing you this color combo right here, ice blue and spearmint blue, because I meant to pick them up in the color combinations I was using and didn't do that. Anyway, I'm also going to blend out the colors a little bit with my Zig Clean Color brush pen. This is just a blender, no color at all. So for my girl bird, I am using the ice blue and then the spearmint blue. All I'm doing is laying down, for the ice blue, I'm putting it all over where I want my color to be. And then after that, I am blending in a little bit of the darker color where I want my shadows. For my boy bird, I am going to be using teal and electric blue. And I am actually going to blend the teal color out a little bit with my Zig blender because I don't want this to be super dark. I did not have to worry about this for the girl bird as the ice blue color was already very light. Go in with my darker color like I am here. I will follow it with my lighter color, and then after that I am going to blend that back out with the Zig blending marker. This is just so that the area doesn't end up too dark, but I still need some kind of transition between my darkest color and the lighter color. You will notice that when I am touching my lighter colors to the darker colors, I go on to a scrap part of the paper and I scribble off the excess color from the brush. This will keep me from contaminating anything else in the future. As you can see, when I scribble off now, there is quite a bit of color that was left on my clear blending brush. You can also use this blending brush to fix areas, so if you get a little bit outside the lines, you can clean it up a little bit. And you can also lighten colors if you've made an area a little bit too dark. Once my birds were colored and cut out, I cut out a piece of cream cardstock measuring 10 inches by 3.5 inches. I then tried to mark the center vertically and horizontally. Initially, I thought I would cut out 3 hearts from this panel and then decided I was only going to cut out the 2 end hearts. The center, I am actually going to put a couple of heart cutouts right on top of it. So for that one, I just trace around it. The next 2, I do try to measure as best as I could to get them even with the center heart and each other. This took a little bit of fiddling with. I think in the end, I got it pretty close. I did have to make my own card base, which was 10 inches by 7 inches, scored in the middle at 3.5 inches. Now I have cut out a bunch of music notes, and these are from a Hero Arts die cut. This was actually a background die. I just took all the little music notes that come from it. And I am painstakingly coloring each one of them in front and back using my Arteza markers that are the spearmint blue, teal, and the rouge pink. Now, if I had colored cardstock that would match the colors that I had already used, that would have been much better. But I didn't, so the markers were the only way to go. This didn't take too terribly long, though I did get very inky fingers. Another thing is that the colors on this aren't the smoothest or most even because I did not use Bristol Smooth cardstock. Here I'm showing you what they look like all colored in. I did leave some of them white. I am going to put them in the 2 hearts that are beside the birds. I also cut out a heart using a lighter pink cardstock. I tried to find one that matched as closely as possible to the color that I used on the bird's flower and the music notes. It was just a little bit lighter, but I didn't want to risk having a very streaky heart trying to color it in with my Arteza Real Brush pen. Here I'm using score tape around the edges of each cutout heart. This is so that I can adhere some acetate sheets behind my cutouts to create shaker windows. In addition to the score tape, I will also be using some liquid glue. At this point, I decide that I want my heart to have a little bit more dimension. So I am taking the cutouts that were left over from cutting my card panel, and I am going to glue them right behind my pink heart. This is going to give it just a little bit more dimension in the center of my card. Here I'm taking thin foam adhesive, double-sided foam tape, and I am going to go all the way around the hearts and the edges of my card. This will ensure that my little paper music notes can shake around just a little bit and that they will always stay mostly inside the heart windows and not end up in the middle of the card or somewhere that you can't see them. I do spend a little bit of time trying to place the music notes inside the hearts where they're not overlapping each other because I don't want them to get stuck in a giant cluster. I'm also trying to make sure that there's a fairly equal representation of each color in each heart. Once I am finished filling up my heart windows, I then add my white sheet of cardstock along the back of my panel, making sure to press down so that the foam tape is securing both pieces together where I'm not going to end up with my little music note sliding out. I also attach the card panel to the card base with liquid glue. Next, I'm trying to figure out where exactly I want my sentiment, and I'm going to heat emboss this. I didn't have, again, a matching pink to the color that I used, so I went with the closest color that I had. And this one is Pink Peony from Windy Vecchi and Ranger. Side note, I did realize that my sentiment wasn't straight after I set the heat embossing powder on top. So I wiped it off, and then I took my anti-static powder bag and ran that over the top to redo it. You actually can't tell in my final card that I made that mistake the first time. For my heart, I am gluing that directly to the card base using liquid glue. I'm then putting the birds on top. You will notice that part of the birds hang off. I tried to see if my foam tape would fit underneath it, but it was just a little bit too wide. So in the end, my birds' feet were hanging off a little bit, and there was a gap between their feet and the card base. But it's fine because I'll just hand deliver this to whoever it's going to go to. My card is now complete. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will be back with another video soon. Bye!